Hi, friends. It's me, Spencer, and I'm here to review the game Until Dawn. It was a game that came out for the PlayStation 4 a couple weeks ago, or a week ago, or some shit like that. And it is a survival horror game in the same vein. Well, not really in the same vein of anything. I guess you could say it's in the genre of Resident Evil, that kind of stuff, but it's actually more taking from like Telltale's games and stuff like that. It's a kind of a point and click adventure style game and it does what it does. Let me talk about it a little bit. So gameplay wise, if you played a Telltale's game, you've kind of seen the point of this, where you have to go around talking to different people and you have quick time events and that kind of stuff going on. The main difference here is that there's no real action in this game. There's no real puzzles in this game. So just because, like in a Telltale's game, you'd be walking around and you have to bring this item to this guy and this thing to this guy and then talk to him about this, yada yada, all that good stuff. This one doesn't really have any of that. All this one has is you need to go from A to B, so do it, and then the story progresses from there. Then go from B to C, story progresses from there. So I felt that was kind of a weakness in this game. Now I understand that this is supposed to be more of a movie style game, so be that as it will, you're going to get a lot more cinematics going on. And to its credit, it's very gorgeous. But this game came out at $60, so I got to compare it to all the other $60 games. And if you want it in terms of gameplay, there's absolutely none here. Don't think QuickTime events make for a game, because honestly, a lot of the QuickTime events, you can fuck up on them, and it doesn't really matter. You still, you'll be running through a place, and there's a bunch of trees in the way and a bunch of shit, and you'll just run and you'll hit it, and if the game didn't want you to die right there, you just won't die. That being said, that kind of segued into that. The big draw of this game is that they can all essentially die, or none of them can die, or some of them can die. It just depends on your actions in the game, which is a really novel idea, and I give them major props for coming up with that. It follows this sort of teen slasher flick kind of adventure, and I would say about 2/3 of the way through the game, they kind of ditched that for something else, and I totally hated that. I thought it was terrible. They should have just stuck with the teen slasher stuff. It would have made so much more sense. And they have a twist in the middle of it. Certain characters do certain things. Yeah, yeah. I don't want to spoil anything because that's all this game really is. So if I said one thing, it'd probably ruin the game for you. But the story isn't as good as a lot of people have said it is, if you really, really look at it. I will say one plus that this one has is people that aren't really gamers can actually get into it. A lot of chicks can really get into this kind of game. We played this at a party at my house a couple of weeks ago, and the girls actually were into it. We let them kind of pick their own answers to things, and you get like questions of what you're afraid of, and we let them pick it out because ew, spiders. I think it was like rats or snakes or can't remember. It's been a little bit. The alcohol is sure than helping, but. So a lot of the gameplay can appeal to people that aren't really gamers, and that's kind of a plus. But here's the problem with that, is that they don't have these games. They don't have a PS4. They don't allot $60 they can buy this game because it's just not what they do. So I think that's a huge mistake. And the one plus is that like gamers can bring this to their non-gamer friends and they will enjoy it. But as a gamer, this game's weak as hell. The main plus that has is the graphics. They are absolutely gorgeous. Probably the best on the PlayStation 4. I'm about to play Metal Gear Solid 5, so hopefully that game proves me wrong. I don't think it will from what I've seen. But this game is flat out amazing to look at. I don't think there's anything better out there. That being said, it's just a point-and-click adventure game without even clicking and pointing. So it's kind of hard to really justify that, but be it as it may, it looks gorgeous. The audio is fantastic. The voice actors did a really, really good job. It was Hayden Panettiere did the main chick, whatever she is. I don't know the names of the other actors, but there are some slightly famous ones. I'm not a huge movie person. I can't stand them, so it's probably affecting my review. Either way, don't hate me. But there was a kid. He was from Night at the Museum. Not coming to me. He's in other stuff, but that's the one that he's most famous for, I think. He might be in some other stuff. There was a guy from Prison Break. He's the old guy. And then apparently Eric was telling me, producer Eric, he's telling me that there is a character from the new Avengers show, and it's Mike. He's one of the good-looking guys, or the good-looking guy. I wouldn't know. Whatever. So they did a really fantastic job making this come to life. And again, as a movie, this is solid. As a video game, there's a lot of problems. The story goes crazy. It doesn't make sense in a lot of parts. There's no gameplay here. There's no, I really, yeah, again, story-wise, I don't like where it went with it. And then mainly, the biggest drawback is the lack of gameplay. I'm just gonna say that. I don't want to ramble on it too much, but that's the whole problem with me with this game is recommending it for $60 is impossible. I beat this game in less than 6 hours. Just one night sitting, I just plowed my way through it. I think 3 of them made it out alive in mine. There's one instance where I did want to go back and see what would have happened, because that's the other thing. It has a butterfly effect. So when you're done with the game, or even in the middle of it, quite honestly, you can go back and redo how you did some of your choices in the past. And that's going to affect things, in later on. So if you piss off one of the characters, later on they might not help you. And I did actually see one of the instances where it does that, because we ended up, like I said, we played it again. So I made some different decisions. So as far as that goes, that's an interesting idea. But again, this game retailed at $60. I think it's still $60. And if I were to give it a score, I'm going to give it 3 out of 10. So not a recommend from me. Wait till it's $20, like I said in my review on the show, The Itch Network. Wait till it's $20. 3 out of 10 for this game. Skip it. Skip it for sure. Well, I'm Spencer. Make sure to subscribe to this channel. Make sure to subscribe to The Itch Network to see me and some other guys just shoot the shit and talk like crazy. We do that every Saturday morning. Otherwise, let me know if you have any suggestions or think I should get better at something. I'm always up for it. I'm still new to this, so thank you very much. Have a good one. See you next time.